Affidavit to be filed by candidate. Disclaimer: this training material is for use in training of election officials. It should not be referred as guideline of commission. In case of any variance in this training material, the commission guidelines, rules, laws shall prevail. Learning outcomes. At the end of the session, the participants will be able to understand the provision of affidavit under the section 33(2) of RP Act 1951. Explain the Form 26, that is affidavit form, as mentioned in the Rule 4A of Conduction of Election Rules 1961. Discuss the Commission instructions related to filing of affidavits by the candidates. Also, they will be able to cite the period of retention of affidavit. Affidavit in RP Act 1951. Section 33(2) of RP Act 1951 says, candidate or his proposer at the time of filing of nomination paper shall also submit an affidavit duly sworn by the candidate as prescribed by the Commission. Rule 4A of Conduction of Election Rule 1961 prescribes the form of affidavit, that is, Form 26. It will be sworn by the candidate before a magistrate of the first class or a notary or a oath commissioner. If affidavit is not filed with the nomination, it can be filed till 3 p.m. on the last date of filing of nomination. Candidates are required to fill all the columns of the affidavit. If no information is to be furnished against any item, then nil, not applicable, not known to be indicated in such column. No demand certificate from the agencies providing electricity, water and telephone with also rent, in case candidate had been in occupation of any government accommodation during the last 10 years. As per an order of the Delhi High Court, details of dues to be published in 2 newspapers within 2 days of finalization of the list of contestant candidates. Display of affidavit. Copy to be displayed on notice board of RO and ARO. If office of both RO and AROs are outside the constituency limit, one set of affidavits to be displayed in a prominent public place within constituency limits. Copies to be supplied on demand on payment of standard copying charges to whoever requests for it. Copy to be uploaded on website of CO within 24 hours of filing. Abstract part of the affidavit, that is part B, to be displayed at various other public offices. This shall be done within 5 days of withdrawal of the candidature. Information regarding incomplete affidavit through checklist. If any column is left blank in the affidavit or the information given is vague or illegible, then the returning officer to point out same immediately through the prescribed checklist, specifically pointing out the defects and asking the candidates to file a fresh affidavit rectifying the defects and with all columns completely filled in. The returning officer shall obtain the signature of the candidate or the proposer, as the case may be, and give one copy of the checklist to such person and keep original with them for records. Failure to submit revised affidavit complete in all respects, even after reminder by the returning officer, will be a ground for the rejection of the nomination paper. Affidavit to be filed on a stamp paper. The affidavits filed by the candidate should be on the stamp paper of such denomination as prescribed under the state law. If anyone files the affidavit pointing out false statements in any affidavit by means of duly sworn and notarized affidavit, that is, counter affidavit, such counter affidavit also to be displayed on the notice board along with the affidavit of the candidate. Uploading on CO's website. Copy to be uploaded on the website of the CO within 24 hours of the filing. Even if the candidate withdraws the candidature, then also the already uploaded affidavits will not be withdrawn. Press release shall be issued at state level and district level, stating that the affidavits of the candidates and counter affidavits, if any, are available for the electors to see and mentioning the places where it can be viewed. The press release should also make it clear that the affidavits can also be viewed on the website, and the path to locate them on the website should also be mentioned. Multiple affidavits. If a candidate files the multiple nominations from a constituency, then filing of one affidavit will also be sufficient. If a candidate has filed more than one affidavit in a constituency, the returning officer shall check all such affidavits. In case either of the affidavits conforms to the requirement of the proper filing of the affidavit, the returning officer shall take into consideration this fact while deciding the candidature at the time of scrutiny of nominations. If one of the affidavits meets the requirement of filing of affidavit and the other affidavits are found defective, the returning officer shall not issue notice to the candidate in respect of defective affidavits, as the legal requirement of filing of an affidavit has been met. If the candidate has filed more than one affidavit and neither of the affidavits are complete in all respect, the returning officer in such a case shall give a notice in checklist pointing out defects in all such individual affidavits and give time for filing the revised affidavit by the time of commencement of the scrutiny. If the information in the affidavit gets changed or the candidate himself or herself discovers that some information needs to be revised, then candidate can file revised affidavit in suppression of their earlier affidavit. Candidate shall also give an undertaking to the returning officer that the affidavit submitted is in suppression of an earlier affidavit and that the revised affidavit shall be taken into consideration. Signature on each page of the affidavit. Each page of the affidavit should be signed by the deponent concerned. The affidavits should bear on each page the stamp of the notary or the oath commissioner or the magistrate before whom the affidavit is sworn. Display at prominent places and on website. The returning officer shall display all the affidavits at prominent places and on the website. The earlier filed affidavit shall not be removed. Affidavit having Aadhaar number. Aadhaar details on the documents to be removed or masked so that such details are not seen by the public at large. E-filing of affidavit. If the candidate has filed a nomination paper and the affidavit through Suvidha portal, then the hard copy, signed in ink and notarized, etc., shall be delivered to the returning officer between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. on the appointed date and place. The physical affidavit is a statutory document and the online facility is to enhance ease of filing the affidavit. The returning officer to follow all the standard protocols as already discussed. Retention of affidavit. Affidavit shall be retained by the returning officer in physical form for a period of 6 years after the completion of election process or till the disposal of election petition, whichever is later. Same instruction with the affidavits uploaded on the website. In this education video, we have learned about the affidavit to be filed by the candidate. If you have any doubt or want any clarification, then you can contact through the mail as shown on the screen. For other videos on rules and regulations, you can visit the web address as shown. Thank you.